This is not an easy subject. It is not light, and it is not something people talk about openly without fear of judgment. Today's topic touches emotions, wounds, silence, and realities that many prefer to ignore. So if you are here, listening to this, it means something inside you is searching for clarity, understanding, or maybe even healing. So let me ask you something very directly. What is the real cost of loving a married man? If you have ever been involved with someone who already had a wife, or if you lived that experience as the other woman for a long time, you already know the answer in your body, in your heart, and in your memories. But for those who have never been there, or for those who are just stepping into a situation like this without fully understanding what it carries, this conversation may help open your eyes. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Thank you for being here truly. If you are new here and don't know me yet, welcome. Today we are going to talk about an issue that I consider extremely delicate and deeply sensitive. It is a subject where, in the end, every single person involved ends up wounded in some way. However, there is one perspective that is rarely explored with honesty and compassion: the pain of the woman who becomes part of a triangle, the woman who is not the wife. What is the emotional, psychological, and personal price of falling in love with a man who is already married, of loving him genuinely and hoping, consciously or unconsciously, for something more? First of all, it is very important to understand this. No one enters this type of situation for fun, entertainment, or because they want to suffer. No one knowingly signs up for pain. Most people who find themselves in these relationships do not fully grasp the consequences at the beginning. They don't imagine how much it will hurt, how long it will hurt, or how complicated it will become. If they truly understood the depth of the pain and the difficulty ahead, most would never take that first step. There are several reasons why someone may end up involved with a married man. One of the most common is proximity and convenience. There is a saying that opportunity creates temptation. You see him often, maybe at work or in a shared environment. Conversations start casually, harmlessly. There is laughter, emotional connection, shared moments, and suddenly, without realizing how it happened, the situation crosses a line and spirals out of control. Another factor can be the need for attention, regardless of where it comes from. Being desired, noticed, or chosen can feel intoxicating, especially for someone who is emotionally vulnerable. Low self-esteem often plays a role, but even more important than that is the absence of clear boundaries. Boundaries that were never established with him, which allowed him to get closer than he should have. And perhaps even more damaging, the lack of boundaries with oneself. Not being clear about what is acceptable, what is unacceptable, what you deserve, and what you should never settle for. All of this eventually leads to deep emotional suffering for many reasons. The first is the overwhelming imbalance of power within the relationship. In reality, everything revolves around him. When you see each other, how often you meet, where you meet, and how long you spend together are all decisions that depend mostly on him. You are the one adjusting, waiting, adapting. He is not rearranging his life for you because he already has a primary relationship. His availability depends entirely on his wife and his family. That means your time, your plans, and your emotional needs are indirectly controlled by someone you are not even in a relationship with. You can only see him when he manages to lie, hide, or escape from his responsibilities at home. This creates a painful and constant inequality because the effort is always one-sided. The second consequence is anxiety. A lot of anxiety. He can reach out to you whenever he wants. He can call, text, or disappear at will. And you are usually there, emotionally available, because you don't have another primary partner. But this access is not mutual. You cannot contact him freely. You cannot call him at any time or express yourself without thinking twice. When he is with his family, you cease to exist in his world, at least temporarily. Which leads directly to the third issue. You begin to place your own life on pause. Your needs, your routines, your plans slowly take a back seat because you are always waiting. Waiting for confirmation, waiting for a message, waiting to know if you will see him, where, and for how long. You start organizing your schedule around his availability, which keeps changing. This constant uncertainty generates stress and emotional exhaustion. Often, he keeps you waiting until the very last minute, leaving you unable to commit to other plans or live freely. On top of that comes the secrecy. You cannot openly share your relationship with your family. Only a few friends may know the truth. You hide because you fear judgment, criticism, or being labeled as foolish for loving someone who cannot and will not make you a priority. The fourth stage comes when the initial excitement fades, and it always does. In every type of relationship, the novelty eventually disappears. When that happens, loneliness starts to surface. You realize you are fully invested in someone who is only partially present. Maybe he was attentive at the beginning, constantly messaging, calling, making you feel special. But that attention decreases once he no longer needs to win you over. Reality hits hard. You understand that you were never truly first. His family remains his priority. Some women fall into deep sadness or even depression at this point because leaving is not easy. Feelings have grown, promises were made, or at least implied. Even if there were no explicit promises, your heart is no longer available to meet someone else because it belongs to someone who cannot fully belong to you. And finally, there is judgment. Harsh, cruel judgment. Society points fingers at you. You are blamed, insulted, labeled as the one who destroyed a home. Meanwhile, the man who made vows, commitments, and choices often escapes the same level of criticism. Despite being free, despite not being the one who broke marital promises, you carry the heaviest burden of blame. Among all the types of relationships that exist, long distance, undefined situations, casual arrangements, this is one of the most emotionally devastating. On the surface, it may look intense and meaningful. There may be love, understanding, chemistry, and connection. But when everything ends, it often ends abruptly. One day, he is gone, back to his life, and you are left with silence, confusion, and a void you don't know how to explain. That is the price. So the question now becomes, what is the inner work that needs to be done when you realize you have been involved in one or multiple relationships like this? Because there are people who don't just experience this once. There are those who move from one married man to another, then another, and another, without ever building a relationship with someone who is emotionally and legally available. That pattern does not happen by coincidence. The first and most essential area that must be addressed is self-worth. Without any doubt, self-esteem plays a central role here. When self-esteem is fragile or damaged, life tends to reflect that internally broken relationship outwardly. And until that inner work is done, nothing outside will truly change. You may change partners, environments, or circumstances, but the dynamic will repeat itself in different forms. That is precisely why working on self-esteem is not optional. It is necessary. Learning how to rebuild it, strengthen it, and protect it changes the course of your relationships. In spaces like the workshop, The Power of Self-Esteem, people learn how to reconnect with their own value, how to stop accepting less than they deserve, and how to create emotional boundaries that prevent them from falling into these painful situations again. I will leave the information here and also in the video description. And if for any reason you cannot take that workshop, you can still join the YouTube members area and at least access the short course available there that focuses specifically on self-esteem. Now, when people come to me in private consultations or during live sessions and ask, "What do I do? I don't know how to get out of this," my answer is always the same, and it is not a gentle or comfortable one. My answer is, leave. Run if you have to. Use whatever exit you can find, the door, the window, the back exit, but get out. There is really no softer version of that advice. You need to leave. And of course, the response I hear almost every time is, yes, but it's not easy. And no, it isn't. But let's be honest, nothing truly worthwhile in life is easy. None of the decisions that genuinely improve our lives come without discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable by nature. Choosing yourself is uncomfortable. Ending something that hurts you is uncomfortable, but it still must be done. What many people are really searching for is an answer that says, do this and it won't hurt. And that answer does not exist. Any ending, any closure, any transition, no matter how positive it ultimately is, comes with pain. Even positive changes carry a sense of loss. For example, my son is finishing middle school, and even though moving on to high school is a good thing, I still feel a subtle grief inside me. It's the end of a stage. That's how change works. So yes, ending this relationship is going to hurt. There is no question about that. For how long will it hurt? That depends on many variables. But what is certain is this: the sooner you leave a place where you do not belong, the sooner you arrive at the place where you do. Staying only delays healing. Something that can help tremendously in understanding this situation, and I've mentioned this in other conversations on the same topic, is recognizing that you are part of a love triangle. And triangles are made up of 3 points. At the top is him. At the base are 2 points, his wife and you. As long as all 3 points remain, the triangle stays intact. But if one of the base points disappears, and that point is you, the entire structure collapses. You cannot resolve a problem while continuing to be part of it. You have to step out. Once you remove yourself, whatever he decides to do with his marriage or his life becomes his responsibility. But as long as you stay, you are unknowingly sustaining a system that hurts everyone involved. In many cases, the lover acts as an emotional cushion for the marriage, while the marriage also cushions the relationship with the lover. Stop cushioning his life. Stop making it easier for a man who is lying to both women. Walk away. You already know that leaving will be painful. That part is not new. What you don't truly know is how intense that pain will be. You are only imagining it. What you do know is that staying guarantees continuous suffering. Leaving hurts sharply and intensely at first. Staying hurts quietly, constantly, every single day. Because staying means daily reminders that you are someone's secret. It means living with rules that were created to hide your existence. It means accepting conditions that constantly remind you that you are second. Those rules exist so that his wife never finds out about you. And every time you obey them, you reinforce the truth that you are not his priority. Perhaps the most painful part of all is this: deep down, you know you are betraying yourself. You feel it. Every unanswered call, every canceled plan, every last-minute excuse, every time you have to change locations because someone might recognize him, it all reminds you of how much you have abandoned yourself. You begin to see how much of your dignity, time, and emotional energy you have sacrificed for someone who does not give you the same in return. Even if he claims to love you, even if, in his own limited way, he does care, you do not matter enough for him to choose you fully. You do not matter enough for him to free you and allow you to be with someone who can give you everything. Recently, a woman said to me during a consultation, "He loves me, but he is with her. He doesn't know where he belongs." And I told her, very honestly, "You are not going to like what I'm about to say, but he absolutely knows where he wants to be, and he is already there, with her. He calls you occasionally. He tells you how much he misses you, how much he wishes he could be with you, how much he loves you, but you rarely see him. That alone tells you everything you need to know. He knows exactly where he wants to be, and it is not with you. So stop waiting for him to make a decision. Stop accepting emotional leftovers while, in his home, he gives the full meal. Stop settling for crumbs. This is not an isolated story. I see it again and again. In this particular case, the woman had been his girlfriend for many years. They broke up, and shortly after, he married another woman because she became pregnant. He is still married to her. And because of their past, the woman convinces herself that the situation is somehow different, that it is not as bad as being with a random married man. But this is not about morality, even though there are moral implications. This is about how wrong it is for her, how harmful it is to allow herself to be deceived, to accept confusion as love, to wait indefinitely while someone else decides her fate. Someone who truly loves you does not trap you in uncertainty. Real love gives freedom. Real love steps aside when it cannot offer what the other person deserves. Love is leaving when staying would mean continuing to hurt the other person. So when someone tells you they are confused, understand this. They are not confused about where they are. They are exactly where they want to be. They have two options. You only have one real choice, with him or without him. And I sincerely hope you choose without him, because that choice opens the door to discovering what life has prepared for you further down the road, something fuller, healthier, more balanced, and far more joyful than what you are living now. The longer you delay leaving, the longer you postpone meeting that version of your life. And I can promise you this, what is waiting for you is better than what you are holding on to. I wish you love, clarity, strength, and success in everything you choose to do. If this message resonated with you, please like and subscribe below. Before you go, take a moment. Thank yourself for being here, for listening, for showing up today. You don't have to have everything figured out. Just keep taking small steps. I'll see you in the next story.